I've seen more in men and some women where they just have this fantasy of, we'll just meet and we'll know we want to date and it will just be natural. And I'm like, that sounds like a fantasy to me. There's people that don't want to do online dating because they want to meet the person organically, whatever organic means, naturally in the real life. And I'm like, great. But also, if you do want to date, you might have to be more creative and make things quote, quote, not organic, I guess.
Hello and welcome to the Christians Who Date podcast. I'm Andrea Alley, and it is Monday night.
Surprise.
I'm Lauren Bornique, and it's my fault that we're recording on a Monday night. I'll explain later.
I'm Kalli Christopherson, and yes, Lauren, explain why we're recording on a Monday night.
Yeah. Also, I look short right now in the video.
You do.
Okay.
Andrea's never looked short a day in her life.
This is all new for me.
Dre, you look amazing in every way. Oh, I like your nails, Kalli, by the way. We both have pink nails.
Thanks.
Mine are also pink.
No, they are not.
No. Pink toned.
Yeah,
they're
just
natural
regular.
pink.
Natural pink. You
natural
look great,
skin
Dre.
tone pink. Thank you.
Also, before this podcast started, Dre was like hitting things. I was like, what is she doing? And she was like killing bugs around her.
Yes. I opened the window for some fresh air and a bunch of bugs came in, even though we have a screen, but they're little tiny ones. Anyway,
it was just funny. I was like, what is happening over there?
It's basically the 10 plagues at my house, you guys, but we're not going to get into it. So
yeah. Chaos on a Monday night. Yep. The reason that we're meeting on Monday night is because I have a women's event on Thursday. And I'm so excited about it. And Kalli and Dre were kind enough to let me have female friends outside of them. And so
once in a while.
Once in a while. And it's cute. It's called Stems and Stories. And my church is putting it on. They're really good at putting events on, but it's going to be that we all bring a bouquet and then we're going to like remake bouquets and then share parts of like our life and stories with one another and have a beautiful women's night where we all come home with a new bouquet that we're making. So
that's
really
really
sweet.
Idea.
So that's Thursday, so we can't record on Thursday, and that's why we're here. That's my story.
Yeah. Kalli and I are just so secure in our friendship now that we have this podcast that we're not worried about you like going and finding female friends,
having flings with other women.
Yeah, we're like, go be friends, but like we're on the podcast with Lauren. So
no, totally. And I even was like willing not to go to it. I was like, I understand if we can't make it happen, I will not go. You know, you guys are priority, obviously.
Yeah. So. No, we've really been making a way for the women's nights lately.
Yeah, last week it was me.
Yes.
I had also a women's night, and ours was similar themed, only it was called Tend. And it was about tending the garden of your heart.
Okay.
Which is such a good worship song.
It's like a spring thing going on, I guess.
Yeah, you know, we're women, we love spring. So
we love spring and tending and flowers, apparently.
So I kill flowers all the time and all that stuff. So don't mean to.
And all that stuff.
So greenery. Yeah. Well, before we get into the pod, these beautiful women celebrated my birthday. It was about 2 weeks ago now, which is crazy. It happened so far ago in my brain. But they both happened to get me Lululemon gift cards. Sorry, I did shout out the place.
Yeah.
Did not mean to. You can delete it.
Although it sounds like it's not totally their fault, but anyway.
Yes. Athletic. They know me well. It is my favorite clothing store. I love to wear it because it's so silky smooth and coaching, but it is spency. So I got to get help. Well, Dre's gift card, she got in one of those like stores, and I get the gift card and I go over to Lululemon and I try to like rip open like the thing, and I with the silver lining, the code, it like split in half. So like, sorry, you're gonna have to call support because like we can't figure out the code to be able to use it. I was about to purchase something. It was so cute, these blue shorts. Anyways, call Lululemon support. And they're like, hey, let's look into this a little bit. But actually, this was already spent on May 5th in Australia. And I was like, in Australia? Like, how? And they're like, well, yeah, maybe someone stole it or I don't know. And I was like, I'm not a crook. That's my $30 gift card. And I was like, well, obviously, like, I didn't use it. I'm a very committed customer to you all. Can I like have a reimbursement? Or they're like, sorry, the policy is whether it's stolen or lost, we cannot reimburse you that $30. And so Dre and I were coming back and forth in our group message. Kalli was our advocate listener. I was like, I'm sorry on Mother's Day to have to be pulling you all into this away from your mothers.
This saga.
But we need justice of $30 was stolen by some Australian person. And sadly, Lululemon said, sorry, part of the policy can't give you your money back. And so someone enjoyed it across the ocean, that $30 gift card. And I'm sad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
hope that Australian is loving their leggings right now.
Yeah, they better look real good, whatever they got.
But also, I was reading online and somebody was like, oh yeah, I got my boyfriend a $200 gift card. Like, I was like, people spend way more on gift cards. So I wonder if this Australian was like hoping that she was going to score like a 200er, you know? And she's like, dang it, this like cheapskate only put $30 on here. No, this is only gonna get me like half a legging.
I know, but I'm like
1/3 of a legging.
But I think it's happening more, like the gift cards off of like the rack, that people are somehow able to like scam it. It's like once it's activated, somehow they can get the money. I don't understand fully, but gift cards, they can be sketchy these days. Get your money taken.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I was thinking like that because it was like a gift card where I don't know, did they take the numbers before? I don't know when they take the numbers.
I think they took the numbers, and then once it's activated, they're notified, and then they can go spend it.
That's what I mean.
Before you spend it,
I could have made that like $100 or $200 gift card,
and
but
they would have taken 30. All of it. Yeah.
So they were like, dang.
Exactly. So I guess the safest way for it not to get stolen is just like you buy the gift card on their site or like in their store. And then I think that's probably the easier way because it's like behind the counter.
You know what's funny is,
I don't know.
As I was buying it, I heard your voice in my head because you always told me and Kalli, like, I don't trust gift cards in the mail.
Yep.
Yes.
I literally heard that in my head and I was like, whatever, I'm sending it in the mail.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so
what
sorry.
happened.
It came back to bite me.
Well, it was fine in the mail. It got to me. It was that some Australian person took it. Not to be against the Aussies, but today I am. They literally were like, yeah, someone in Australia. And they're like, we can't look at their account to see who purchased it. And I'm like, well, they're a stealer.
Yeah, why can't they look? That's weird.
I don't know. They have all these. I think this happens all the time, unfortunately. So
no, yeah, I think it's like I was reading up on it. I was like, oh, this is like an epidemic.
An epidemic of stolen gift cards.
Yeah, so sad.
So we could go into even more. The other thing, and then I'll get us into our dating podcast, which is our priority. Is that AI now can record your voice or even like your actual face and then they'll pretend to be you and go to like family members or whatever asking for money and like personal information.
I feel like that would work right now on like grandparents.
Yes.
But I don't know if it would work on everybody.
No, but it's crazy that that's like happening now.
Yeah, that is crazy and
that's
scary.
More just like wild. I was telling my family today. I was like, so can you all give me $1? I was texting them.
$1.
Yeah.
I want $1 from you all.
I want $1.
So, okay.
Or I'm going to take all of your money.
Enough complaining about the world. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, don't get Lauren started on AI.
Oh, yeah. I'll get spicy. We'll do another podcast about AI and dating.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What prompts to give ChatGPT to slide into someone's DMs?
Ooh. I like it.
You know, it's not a bad idea, to be honest. Use what you got. If you can't come up with good questions, start somewhere.
If you are a man out there, if you slide into my DMs with a ChatGPT message, I will not respond, and I can spot it from a mile away because I'm a copywriter. I use it every day.
You all, I had a guy tell me that he wrote me this beautiful card with ChatGPT, and I threw away the card. I was mad. It was such a beautiful written card, and then he was like, I wrote it with ChatGPT.
Wow.
And I thought, that is disgusting.
I hate that so much. I hate that so much. I actually, from the angle of like, I'm going to use ChatGPT so that I have more time to write a nice card to somebody that I care about. I'm like, that's the correct way to use it. But to use it in order to write that card, no.
Not to like a close family member or friend.
Yeah, I'm like, no, use it to write or do something else that's like not as important.
Yeah.
And then free up some of your time to use.
I was like,
whatever.
a robot wrote this to me, not you.
Lauren, I want you to know that I wrote that entire card. It came from my heart.
Oh, from both of you, I could tell.
Yes. I did not use ChatGPT.
Yeah. ChatGPT has nothing on us.
Yeah, we won't do that. We commit to not writing ChatGPT cards to each other.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Oh my gracious.
I will say I have used it a couple times to come up with questions to answer on this podcast though, and it is helpful.
The confessions.
Yeah, we're like, what else should we confess tonight?
Throwing it under the bus, but then being like, but actually I also have used it.
But this is how I do
That is literally the story of my life with ChatGPT. We have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea.
Well, should we get into it?
What are we talking about?
What we're talking about today is we're talking about basically the question of, do things need to happen organically? And I think we're going to talk a little bit about like because I think there's really a balance between like at some level things need to feel natural. But if you're expecting everything in your relationship to like just naturally unfold like the movies sometimes make it look, I think that's a little bit of an unrealistic expectation. So we're going to dig into what it looks like to be intentional, and kind of unpack the different phases of relationships and dating and what intentionality looks like in each of those phases. So, do you guys have anything to add to that intro?
Yeah. I mean, I think why we were talking about this is because we've heard from multiple people, oh, it should just happen organically. Like, or if it doesn't, then something's wrong. Like, if you should just be instantly in love or love every moment together. And if not, then it must not be that you guys should be dating. And coming from someone who struggles with anxiety like myself, like there's so many times I've been anxious in dating. And if I broke up with the guy every single time I felt anxious about something and it didn't feel organic, I would never have a relationship. So it's just like having to challenge those things. But there's also something where I'm coming against a mindset I've seen more in men and some women, where they just have this fantasy of, we'll just meet and we'll know we want to date and it will just be natural. And I'm like, that sounds like a fantasy to me. And so I've had different men not want to meet me like with a blind date because to them that was not organic. Or there's people that don't want to do online dating because they want to meet the person organically, whatever organic means, naturally in the real life. And I'm like, great, but also if you do want to date, you might have to be more creative and make things quote quote not organic, I guess. Like I don't know. It's just people make really interesting definitions of what organic or naturally means or easy means for them. Of course, we all want things to be easy, but that is not life overall.
Yeah, totally.
So, well, should we get into what would be like the beginning stages of dating? Do you guys think things should happen organically in the beginning stages? Yes or no? What does that look like?
Yeah. Great question. I mean, we've talked about it a little on this podcast, but I would say if you are organically meeting a lot of new people, that's great. Then I think you're kind of set up to maybe, get more dates that way. But if you look at the last month of your life and you're like, oh, actually, I just see the same people. I have seen the same people every day of every week for this entire month. Then I don't think you're necessarily going to meet anybody
Yeah.
organically. So like if you want to meet someone that way, that's great, but you might have to like put yourself in places where that's going to happen, and that might take some like more work, you know. But even I don't know, I'm like, some of the people are like, they don't want to do speed dating or mixers or like anything like that because it needs to be organic. And yeah, I don't know. And look, I think if you're like super extroverted and you just go around and talk to strangers all the time, then great, go for it. But if that's not your vibe, then you might have to do some things that are quote unquote not organic to meet people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just called logic.
That's so good. Yes.
Put that on a t-shirt. Oh, it's so funny.
Wow. Like, what do the numbers say, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think
Cal?
that's really good. Because yeah, some people are just naturally really extroverted, have no problem meeting people, going to things outside of their comfort zone. But as I think more and more our culture has shifted to like isolation, social media, and so it's just not as normal for us to just be like, oh yeah, we're constantly like interacting and engaging with other people. A lot of people also work remote, so either they're at home or they're at a coffee shop, but you know, headphones in, just working, not paying attention to other people. So yeah, I think you do have to actually put in a lot more effort than like, let's say our parents' generation did, where it was just like, oh yeah, you were with your community at church, like you went to school or whatever, and there's just a lot more like natural interaction and conversation. People were probably better at conversation then, and now it's like something we really have to work at. So I think you actually have to take steps and be intentional and go out of your way at times. And like some things I've heard from people, like whether it's work or like church, but a lot of things people will say is like, well, like I kind of want to go like do my thing, and then I'm tired, and then I just want to go like back to my house or something. And I'm like, okay, well, like it's like anything. If you want to see results, you're gonna have to put the extra work in and be like, you know what, I don't really feel like going to talk to somebody right now, but do I want to create, like we've talked about so many times, do I want to create movement? Do I want to see a change? And the goal isn't even to like, oh, let me get a date out of this, but it's to create that inviting culture of just engaging with people and talking with people. So you may have to just start chatting with people and just branch out a little bit. Or when you're at the grocery store and someone's like ringing you up, make it a practice of like talking to the person and just saying like, hey, like how's your day going? Like just little things that will help you start to be more aware of the people around you and not check out as much. So
go to Trader Joe's. They're great at having conversations at the cash register.
There was a guy that was trying to hit on Andrea, who was a cashier.
Always.
Remember? And you did not notice, and I noticed. I told you later. I was like,
hilarious.
I was like, he was trying to, I was like, he was trying to feel you out, and you were like, what?
Andrea's like, who, me?
I can be a little aloof sometimes.
And then now she's like, every other guy is hitting on me.
She's like,
and Austin.
I think I went back to an aloof phase now, but yeah. Sometimes I notice.
That's so good. I really enjoyed everything you all shared. I was thinking too, in like the first couple initial stages of going on dates, everybody wants it to be easy. And for some people, it will be easy. It will be quote, quote, organic. We just met
you're gonna
and we
hear
had
those
so much
stories.
fun. And I hear a lot of people give that dating advice. Like, it should be so easy. Like, it should be so organic. And if it doesn't feel like that immediately, that feeling, then don't go on another date. And I want to push against that a little bit and say, like, if you have enough time where you just enjoy spending time with them, even if it's clunky or it can be there's like some awkward pieces or like it's not just all free flow, I would challenge you to maybe go on another date if you want to spend more time with them. Like if you're just like, oh, like because I mean, definitely have dated guys where the first couple dates were clunky and they were, but there was like endearing parts of it, or there was enough where I was like, no, this is fun. Like, I want to hang out with you. But there was parts where like maybe there were pauses, or it wasn't all just like, oh, this is a fantasy and it's the easiest thing. Like, you do have to be intentional and work on it and do your part in the dates of asking the questions or listening or and all of that. And so I think some people just feel like, oh, I can just kind of be passive and just it should happen like the fairy tale or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't happen the way. And then sometimes it has, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is so easy and fun.
Yeah.
Which, yay, if that does happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think too, just to like poke at that a little bit, not what Lauren said, but just poke at like the general, maybe people listening. And the only reason I know it's going to poke at you is because it pokes at me. But I think sometimes we use that like it needs to happen organic excuse to like not be brave. Because
Yeah.
if you're just like, oh, like, you know, it needs to happen organically that we talk, then you don't have to muster up the courage to like go over and like actually start an intentional conversation with someone.
take a risk.
Or take a risk. Yeah. Or you don't have to muster up the courage to like, because we've even run into guys where it's like you're trying to set something up with them and they're kind of like, oh, well, oops, like it didn't work out. Like, oh, we kept missing each other or whatever. And it's like, no, bro, like you, and girls do this too. It's like, no, you didn't step up and say, like, this is the time, this is the place, like, we're going to plan this event. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Definitely.
like people use that as an excuse to not have to like take the risk of like making a plan or flat out asking someone, like just and having to risk the rejection of them saying no or something, or like even having to risk the rejection of like, oh, I'm going to actually pursue somebody. Cause sometimes, like a lot of times you're a little more interested or one person's a little more interested. And I've seen this happen too, where the person who's more interested doesn't want to like pursue because they're like, well, I want someone who's going to like want me back or whatever.
Pursue me back. Yeah.
Right. And you're like, no, sometimes if you decide first that you like this person, then you're going to have to get in there and put yourself in their world until they, like notice you. Like it's, you can't. Yeah. Anyway,
that's
I
really
think
good.
we get stuck in these standstills because it's like,
that's so good.
Because we want somebody to, do like the hard work. And it's like sometimes you have to be the person that does the hard work.
Yeah.
Not that that should be your whole relationship, but to get the ball rolling, sometimes it takes some intentionality for sure. Like even Kalli, quote unquote, met her boyfriend organically, but also there was a lot of intentionality on his part in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And no matter what, if there is a season in your dating, engagement, marriage where it was organic, I promise you 100% there will be so many seasons where it will not be organic and you will have to work at it and you will have to be intentional and you will have to go after it, whether it be dating, whether it be engagement, or whether it be marriage. And I know a lot of people say, well, it should be super easy and organic in the dating stage. If not, don't even go further. And I'm like, I challenge myself in that only because I love easy so much that I will bail so quickly.
Oh yeah.
And so I've had to really challenge myself in my anxiety or my fears to lean in when it's not feeling organic or when it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
And that messes with me. It's really messed with my brain because I'm like, well, this isn't like as easy as it was for my sister and her husband.
Right.
And they just knew immediately and I don't know immediately. And so, oh my gosh, then it's probably wrong and I need to break up, And it goes like every story, every dating the more you can hear a variety of dating stories, the more you can hear a variety of
yes.
successful marriages that had really crazy, clunky dating. Like that's helped me so much. And because I've had clunkier dating, I would say, the more serious I get. And so it just gives me peace of like, if you invite God into any of this, like, and wise counsel and people, it will help you when it doesn't feel at times maybe how it should organic, you know?
Yeah.
So
honestly, like organically, I go to my bed and watch movies and eat ice cream. Like that is where my organic self leads me. You know, like I'm like I cannot follow my organic instincts.
I love how much we're saying this word. But please buy organic if you can buy organic.
Buy it at Trader Joe's. It's cheaper there.
Oh,
you can buy
so
organic.
good.
Great.
So many plugs for Trader Joe's tonight.
They're the best.
So I'm actually all about Aldi, but anyways, that's another session. Okay, let's go into when you're dating. So
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, you guys are official.
You've had the conversation.
You had the conversation with your best friends and told
made
them.
it.
You told your best friends.
We are
You've
boyfriend,
let
girlfriend.
your best friends know because they're invested.
Okay, so anywho,
it's nice when people do that.
Yeah, what do you all think about like things happening organically or naturally while you're dating? Let's hear your thoughts.
My first thought is that people say this a lot with like physical stuff. Like they're like, I want it the first time we hold hands, the first time we kiss, I want it to be organic. I don't want it to, we don't want to have a conversation about it because, you know, the stars are going to be out and it's just going to be with the moment and we both know. And it's like, I think that it actually works better if you have a conversation about it and then you can wait for the organic moment. But if you just like choose to like start going in like all those Instagram reels where it's like,
love the acting out.
Wish please everyone jump onto YouTube
Yeah,
to watch
do it
Andrea
again.
and how she did her lips. I was like, oh gosh.
That's how all those reels are. You're not on Instagram, so you don't see them.
No, but your face was enough. Those lips were
they get
terrifying.
so much better. Yeah. Kiss me. Anyway. So all that to say, I think it's better if you have a conversation because relationships are about building trust, as we've talked about before, and creating a place of safety. And so in order to do that, you're kind of checking in with each other. And if you're ready to kiss someone, great, ask and make sure that that's where they are, because that's a big step for a lot of people. So and then once you find out they are, like, feel free to wait for that organic moment, but the intentionality is going to make that moment so much better because then you don't even have to be wondering like, am I going to get shot down, you know, like when I go in for this or whatever. And then I don't know, even sometimes as a girl, like, well, probably guys too, but you can get caught off guard or like you know, it's nerve-wracking to like be trying to read someone, like, because the first time you kiss, you know, you're still trying to figure it out. So anyway, yeah, that's like one of the first things that I feel like people are like, it needs to be organic, but I'm like, intentionality actually makes it better.
Yeah, then you just feel safer, like almost knowing what to like go for too, because you've kind of established some like ground rules or something beforehand instead of just like blindly like jumping in. Yeah. Something I wanted to mention was like having hard conversations, which I mean we've done a whole episode on this, but I feel like I've heard people talk about in relationships when they need to have like discussions about something that maybe they keep like running into an issue or like having all these things they feel like they need to express but they haven't expressed them yet. Something that people will say is like, well, like I'm just kind of like waiting, like it hasn't come up yet. And I'm just like, I feel like if you're waiting for that to come up naturally, it's gonna take forever. And it's probably going to come at a time where you're like both of your feelings are heightened about a situation and you're just frustrated. And so when you're having this conversation that is probably like tender and needs some like gentleness and care, you're just like having it in the heat of a moment when tensions are high and you're feeling like really intensely about it. But taking the time and really thinking like, okay, this is something that's come up. What do I want to say? How do I want to say it? And then just being really intentional with making space for it. And also considering like, okay, I'm going to do it at a time where we're both at somebody's house by ourselves or whatever, being sensitive to the environment, not like I'm just going to maybe bring up this intense topic like while we're out in public with a bunch of people or something, but just like being again really mindful, really intentional, asking questions as well. But I would say hard conversations don't usually just come up organically. I'd say you have to be intentional about them. And especially if it's things that are like, I don't know, bothering you, you really have to talk about that because the other person will probably have no idea. So being intentional and unorganic is great in those situations.
That's good. Did you just say unorganic?
Sure
Yeah,
did.
she did.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I just think in the past, I just wanted the guy to read my mind. And that's where relationships fall apart. Now I think I spell things out as clearly as possible. And sometimes we'll repeat it. This is what I need in our relationship. And what do you need? And it might sound not romantic, but I think it creates connection that will increase romance or increase your friendship in your dating relationship, is sharing like spelling out like this is hard for me or this is what's bothering me, and having those hard conversations like Kalli was saying, it actually alleviates a lot of stress. Because when I'm just building up like these thoughts of we need to address whatever situation, like a finance situation, and I'm just letting it build and build and build instead of just having the conversation, then my anxiety will lower, and knowing like this isn't gonna they're not gonna know what I'm anxious about, or they're not gonna know what's going on in my head unless I share it. And so we're not mind readers for one another, so having to be able to just share like what you need. And I had a friend, and I love this. She told her boyfriend, I need you to text me good morning or she said in a sweeter way, but like, hey, I would love if you texted me like hello or good morning every morning. Like that would just mean a lot to me. And he every morning will text her, and she's like, Lauren, you don't understand how helpful this is for me, because I know he's thinking about me when he gets up. I know that he like has just consistently shown up every day texting me like good morning, like thinking of you today. And she was the one that asked for that, you know? Yeah, of course it'd be so nice if they just magically text you and magically bring you flowers and magically take you on dates. But sometimes they need help. Like guys need help. Like, so, you know, like I've told guys like, hey, I really want to go on a nice date. Like I want to dress up, or I want to go dancing. And they're not going to know that unless you share those needs of like, this is actually going to help us in our connection of romance or dating or whatever. And so anyway, I'm definitely giving like the guy tips of like, this is how you're going to create attraction between us or connection between us. And like, I'd hope the guy would do the same thing for me, is like, this is going to help us in our relationship. That sounds so unorganic spelling it out, but then it allows for those organic times and allows for those connection times at another time. And so, yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's so good, Lauren, because I feel like that's one of the biggest ones is we feel like, oh, well, the right person is just going to know how to meet all my needs and they're going to know how to love me perfectly. And it's like, actually, no, they're not a mind reader. And yeah, you can tell them how to be successful with you in a sense. Like you want to tell each other, like, this is how you win with me. Like, this is how you win points. This is how you're successful with me. And this is, you're like telling them how to love you. And then the right person will respond when
Yes.
you ask for things that you need. And I was actually, it's funny, while you were talking, Lauren, I was thinking about our friendship because
Yeah.
when I go visit Lauren, she actually knows that we have to have a lot of one-on-one time.
I've learned over the years. I'm like, let's mix Andrea with everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is not loving this woman well.
Yeah. Lauren's like, oh my gosh, you can meet all my friends. You can hang out with all my friends. And I just need a lot of attention. I need a lot of one-on-one attention.
I'm
But
totally fine.
that's when I feel like the most loved, and like, yeah, that's when I feel that like real quality time. And I think too, because we don't get a lot of face-to-face time, like I just want to make sure we have time that is
I love that we're having like a DTR right now.
I like it.
I'm like preaching.
Yeah.
But Lauren's done so well at that. But it's because because we talked about it.
And I would have had no idea otherwise had she not shared that.
Yeah.
And I thought you were going to talk about something else, Dre, which all this can translate to dating. But for instance, for years, Andrea and me just had a natural, like, great friendship. Like, just
it was organic. You could say
it was organic. They say it was easy. It was easy. Like, we would just call each other and talk to each other, and it was like whatever. Then we both start dating, and we get busier, or we literally just like, I don't know, there was like a time where we were not talking a lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna lose Andrea as a friend? Because it had been so easy. And then we just had to have that conversation of like, oh, we actually need to schedule time together. We need to be intentional, which honestly transitions to like marriage. Because I was gonna say, not between Andrea and me, but I was gonna say,
although we are in a lifelong friendship, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, for sure, we are committed. And Kalli, of course.
Thank you.
Kalli and I've never been in the same, lived in the same city
Never.
yet. So what I was gonna say is, in marriage, maybe you've had an amazing, really easy dating, and you just get married. I have never not seen a marriage where you have to work at it. Like,
especially when kids enter the picture. Like, oh my gosh.
Work, anything like that. Yeah, no, us three have never been married. But
to be clear,
but like my friends, they're like, no, we schedule dates, or like you can go weeks, or they'll be like, we're gonna pray together as a family every Monday night, or we're gonna do community life group together on Wednesdays, or we're gonna go to church together. Like, they have to be so like almost like fight and guard that relationship as a priority, or your life will just get so busy or whatever. And so I was just thinking of Dre and I, is like, it was so easy for a while, and then we're like, oh my gosh, if we're not intentional, if we don't fight for this relationship, we could actually grow more apart. And so I think that's something of like the closest relationships in your life you want to guard and you want to fight for, especially when it comes to your marriage.
Yeah, that's good.
Any other thoughts with that, you all?
When it comes to your marriage and your best friends, you got to guard those relationships with your life.
It's not going to happen organically at some point.
It's true. Yeah. You can't have everybody in the same, like, have everyone in the inner circle. You got to like be intentional about the people you choose, and then really pour into those.
Choose the heck out of those people,
and not feel bad. Like, obviously you're not going to don't be mean to people that maybe are wanting more relationship with you than you are with them, but also being like, hey, like, just knowing within yourself you have those people that you're like, they're my go-tos, like, and there should just be a few. Like, it shouldn't be 20 people. So being intentional.
I had to kick out 20 people to be Lauren's best friend.
She did it.
I love that we went from dating and marriage to like friendships.
Sometimes it's nice because then I don't have to like throw guys under the bus. I can just talk about our friendship or myself.
Throw the people under the bus, aka me.
AKA me too. I guess I am still throwing myself. But anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I had something else to say about organic. Yeah, definitely conflict is a huge one. People think like, well, we had too much conflict. Like, it's like, no, you're gonna have conflict with any human being. Like,
yeah,
there is more people. I do believe like there's people that you'll have more conflict with, and if you want to try to pick someone that you have a normal amount instead of
Yeah,
like an
that's good.
escalated amount, then that's good. But yeah, you're not going to find anybody that, and if you do find someone where you don't have any conflict, that's actually a red flag, because that probably means that they're not fully showing up or expressing their opinions, or one of you's not
That's
fully
good.
expressing like what you want and need if you're not having any conflict. Because
Yeah.
that's my personality, is to just like appease what the other person wants. But I've had to like really be like, wait, is that what I want?
Yeah.
Like, actually, no, I want garlic fries. I don't want
Wow.
whatever they picked.
Yeah.
I don't want chips and queso. I want
Oh,
garlic fries.
I love chips and queso and garlic fries.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually love both too.
that's good. Is like someone that, because here's the deal is like, yeah, again, you don't want to date someone that, or marry someone that it's like you're fighting all the time and it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is, like
How
we
it
just fight
is.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
it
just
is
fight.
like,
That's all
it's
we do.
okay that it's not easy. Like, what I mean
Yeah.
is that you're able to work through conflict or hardship together as a
Yes.
team. And it's like you're on the same side. Like you're
Yeah.
both like, we're here to make us closer
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to those things that because you're taking two lives and bringing them together.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be conversations and there are going to be conflicts, but the goal is that you're not here to fight against each other or tear each other down. You're actually like, we want to become closer to one another. And so those conversations have to happen.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I was just thinking about that. Like, it's okay if it's like not the easiest, but I do think you're on the same team. And if you're not on the same team, then yeah, maybe you need to look into that when in your dating stage.
Yeah.
If you're fighting against each other.
Yeah. Paying attention to how you guys do conflict instead of being like, oh, we have conflict, like we got to get out. Like you both said, you should have conflict, but how do you work through it and how do you guys show up? So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the hope is that you're not having conflict all the time. It's like an ebb and flow of there's fun, there's good, there's romance, and then you have to work through something in life. And then there's fun and good and romance, and then you work through something. So that's the hope, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think the Gottmans have like a literal like ratio of what it's supposed to be, which would be really cool if I could like pull that up right now. But
who are the Gottmans?
the
Sorry.
Gottmans are like the relationship like gurus.
Well, I'm just a commoner. Good to know.
A simple congregant.
They like invented like relationship psychology, basically.
Okay,
Not
well,
really,
good to
but
know. Good to know. It is good to know because people literally are divorcing because of whatever these days, and I mean, of course, if there's like legit affairs going on or whatever, maybe it's best to divorce, but it's just, people are just like, oh, well, I don't like the way that they work, or I don't like that they have clothes on the ground, I'm divorcing them. That's how it feels, at least. It's just people are not fighting for marriages.
Oh, here it is. Are you guys ready?
There you go.
Ready.
The Gottman ratio is a principle stating that for a relationship to be healthy, there should be a ratio of 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction.
Oh,
Ooh, that's very interesting.
I like it.
Stable and happy couples tend to have a higher percentage of positive interactions than negative ones, even when facing conflict.
Oh, that's good. Because actually, conflict done well can be really positive.
Yes, yeah, you could pass or follow that one conflict interaction up with 5 good ones like easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you feel closer at the end or whatever. Yeah.
Dang.
So interesting, right?
Yeah, I'll look into the Gottmans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they have really good stuff. Let me think. What else was I gonna say? So I feel like if we did like a overview, what level would you guys say of organicness are you looking at or looking for at each stage? Like if you're on like a first date or a second date, what level of organic are you looking for?
Do we have like a scale or something? Like a way to measure it?
Yeah, I like that, Cal.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if you could throw a scale in there if you
so
want
like
to.
10 being like, oh, everything was like flawless. We were on the same page, like chemistry was flowing. 0
was
being
like a
absolutely
movie.
nothing, like crickets,
Nothing.
like awkward.
The hardest, like you're looking at your phone
Like
and you're thinking,
painful.
when can
Painful.
I leave?
Yeah,
When can I
painful.
go? When am I free from this?
I love that we just made this like a number scale.
Yeah,
it
it's
helps.
helpful. It helps.
Okay,
It helps.
People know.
perfect. Yeah, what are you guys looking for?
Okay. The level
A
of
2?
organic.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I love this.
For a first date, I would say, okay, again, 10 being like everything was perfect, 0 being super awkward, terrible. I would say like a 4 or a 5 is what I'd look for on the like what I
Whoa.
want organically.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
me
actually
being
say
honest.
5 too, because I
Yeah.
feel like 5 is like you feel neutral about them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel neutral. I want to feel either like it's a no or a yes. So
Interesting.
5 and up. Yeah.
I'm like a 6, 7 or up because I don't want them wasting my time. Like I want enough where I'm like, oh, I want to go on another one with you, but I don't need you to be like perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny when people are a little clunky, like or awkward or don't say all the right things. So,
Yeah.
but there's
also
enough
like
curiosity and chemistry.
Yeah. I feel like there should definitely be like, curiosity, you're wanting to know them more. But if it's super clunky, I'm always kind of like, well, it's a first date. Like, there's
Yeah.
nerves and stuff. So there's a
Exactly.
little bit of that.
Yeah.
I think even if it's clunky, you know if you're into somebody. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
you really
It's true.
do. Yeah. And
You
I've
just
been
know.
into some clunky people before.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm like, it's not organic, like everything, but there's chemistry. And so maybe that's the difference. The
Yes.
chemistry really does help. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I've like gone on really good dates with people and there's no chemistry and we just know and we're like, yeah, there's no chemistry. Like, sorry.
No, that's a real thing.
So
You're like,
yeah.
oh, we're just both good at like having conversations.
Yeah. We don't need to go on dates. We can just be
Yeah.
buddies. Have a good life.
Have a good life.
Have a good life. So
Yeah. I wonder if Lauren probably never goes on a date and feels neutral though. She probably just always knows like one way or the
Yeah.
other. That's,
Yep.
that's the
Totally.
difference between Lauren and us.
Oh, totally. I'm like very gut driven. You all know it's dangerous at times for me though. Like it's not always the best thing. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
So,
She'll be like, "This is what my gut's saying." I'm like, "Well, last week your gut was saying."
oh, totally. That's why I have you guys in my life. Call me out. Call me out. Crazy girl like me. Okay, let's talk about like in middle of like we're in boyfriend girlfriend stage.
Okay,
like,
yeah. What level of organic are you looking for?
That's hard. It's hard to put in a ratio.
10 being a movie,
Because
1 being a problem.
I think every guy is different.
Yeah.
Every guy is different.
Expand on that, Lauren.
Well, I've had guys where it's like it's been so like I've been so into them so easy, but that does not mean it was a good, healthy relationship. So like there was organic pieces, but like there was other piece that showed like, no, this isn't best. So that's where I'm struggling with this rating scale.
Because you're like, they were an 8 and the organic, but they were actually a problem.
Yes, they had issues. So that's where I'm struggling.
Interesting. Well,
Kalli,
I wouldn't
Kalli or
even
Dre?
say. Well, I wouldn't even say like things happening naturally because it's basically chemistry, right? Like to some level, it's chemistry, and chemistry is not like the only thing you're going off of, but it should be there at some level.
Yeah, because just because it's
but
easy,
don't make it your decision maker.
Just because there's some ease or some chemistry does not mean it's the best relationship for you.
Yeah.
So that's maybe where my thought process is in that.
Yeah. Or you might, or it's almost like connection. You might easily connect with somebody, but that doesn't mean they're the best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I know. I guess I would say maybe like a 5 again. And especially like for, me, again, first relationship ever. I've had to have a lot of just conversations about things before things would happen. But like chemistry, all those things felt very natural. But as far as like having conversations, we had to be really intentional about that. So yeah, it was a combo of like, it felt really normal, but also, you know, you have to out of the blue be like, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So it's just like a combo of both of those things. Yeah.
Dre?
Yeah, I feel like in a relationship, I'm definitely looking at how easy it is and how quickly we work through things, because you are going to face conflict. But yeah, I'm looking at, is there like a willingness to compromise? Is there a give and take? Like, is there a level of we're both laying things down for each other? But I do think you can have chemistry with somebody but to actually be with them, you would both have to lay down really huge dreams or really huge like things that you want in your life. And those are the hardest breakups, I think, because it's like, ooh, we really like each other. Ooh, we really want to be together. But ooh, we'd have to like give up a huge dream to be together. And that is painful.
Yeah.
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 Or like a huge, not even dream, but well, yeah, it is dream basically, because it's like something about what you want your life to look like. Like, anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the three of us, when we're dating, we're thinking about the rest of our lives, which can sound intense, but we are in our 30s. Like, we're dating to get married to somebody. So we are thinking like, okay, if this is how they go, these things happen now, it's most likely the goal is that you're getting healthier in your relationship and you're growing together. That's the hope. And so dating is that stage of like, hey, can we work through this conflict? Can we work through things that maybe don't come naturally, but that it feels like, oh, this would be really still life-giving. Like, these are some good characteristics this person has that I would love to have in my marriage, like, or the rest of my life. Like, yeah, there is an ebb and flow. There is an ease that we could do conflict well, or that we can have those more positive interactions than not. That's like a good partner.
Yeah. We're working towards each other.
Yeah. So basically, relationships take some work. Is like what I'm hearing.
And then I think when you enter marriage, the scale does not matter. Like, you have committed to that person. You're figuring stuff out. So throw the scale out the window. Go to counseling if you need to go to counseling. Like, figure stuff out. So yeah, that's what I think about that.
I agree.
That's good. That's why use the scale while you're dating.
Yeah. Use the scale while you're dating. And if you're a personality that's more avoidant attachment, or you're a little bit more uncomfortable with like closeness with someone, then expect that you're going to have to do a lot of things that don't feel organic to you.
That's so good. Or you'll never be in a relationship.
Or you'll never be in a relationship.
You'll never get married or have a healthy relationship.
It's not about the last like 25 guys. It is about you. I'm sorry to tell you. Yeah.
Wow, we're being savage tonight. But we're only saying this because we've all had to deal with it.
No, it's literally, 99% of the time I'm talking to Dre 10 years ago.
I'm talking to me yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Well, any last thoughts on this, guys?
I think
that's good. We covered it.
We covered it good.
So, buy organic is what we're trying to say from
buy
all this.
Buy organic and go to Trader Joe's to buy it so that you can practice talking to the cashier.
There you go.
But be okay with unorganic situations.
That's right. That's true.
Not unorganic food.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. People are going to walk away being like, what was that?
Write that down. Yeah.
Write that down.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thanks for joining us for this little chat. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.